Welcome again to this island of science. I hope you have taken the ticket. No? Then immediately hit that subscribe button and bring the ticket for yourself because we are going to start new journey in this video. In my last video, I have described those tiny particles of which matter is made up of. It is these tiny particles which are responsible for mass of that particular matter. Today we are going to discuss some more properties of these tiny particles which Maharishi Karna told us as atoms and molecules. I will demonstrate you something. Let us go to our experiment table. Here you can see certain marbles in this defined area. Now you can see they are stick to each other. Yes, how is the movement? It is very less, and you can see the distance between two marbles are very less, and there is very less space for the movement. Okay, such kind of arrangement you can see in any solid matter, which is a state of matter. Now if I replace it with a bigger vessel, then you can see now there is more space for the movement and they can move more freely, but still there is a space between them, and this space is bigger than that of this vessel. This state is free to move, so it is called as fluid state, which is a liquid state of matter. Now if I increase the area, here you go, you can see they can move so freely with each other, and the space between two marbles can become bigger and bigger, and movement of space also become enlarged. So this state is called as gaseous state of matter. Did you understand something from this? Let us discuss about it. Here we come back. You enjoyed it? Let us discuss about what we have done now. This is something we did. We have certain marbles. Here you can count. We have supposed to be 9 particles in this matter. Now if I shift it to a bigger vessel, that means we have increased the area. In that case, the distance between two marbles become more. If I increase the area in further, then distance become larger. And this is what defines the 3 state of matter, where the distance between the particles are less, that is solid state. Distance increase a little bit which allow the matter to flow, that is called as liquid state. And when distance become much larger than that of fluid, then it becomes gaseous state. One more thing I would like to discuss here. Here you can see in this area the particles are very compactly arranged with each other. This is called as more dense. Okay, it is dense. Have you seen honey? And can you compare honey with water? Then you can see that honey is thicker than water. That means you can easily infer that honey is having more density than that of water. Now in the honey, the particles are more tightly packed, so it is difficult to flow, while in water the particles are less densely packed, so it is easier to flow. And if I ask you something like steam, which you can see coming out of water when water boils, in that case the particles are very free to move, that means they are least dense. Here one terminology which is coming in picture is density. Yes, our today's topic of discussion is density. In density, the distance between the particles plays important role, and distance between the particle depends on the area in which it is present. So density is defined as the amount of particles or matter present in defined area or per unit volume. Okay, so density is defined as particles or matter or mass per unit volume. So on the basis of this, we can easily define the unit of density. Unit of density will be, the unit of mass is kg in MKS unit. At the same time, the unit of volume is meter cube. So the kilogram per meter cube is the unit for density in MKS unit, and in CGS unit it will be grams per centimeter cube. The density is denoted by rho. It is a P kind of alphabet. It is pronounced as rho. So from this discussion, we can conclude that density is given by mass per unit volume and weight per unit volume. This is used to solve day-to-day problems, and we can calculate density. Now in our day-to-day life, we have to calculate the density. So there are two methods. One, we need a scale. As I told you, we always need a fixed unit or quantity against which we put our parameters and we determine the density. In case of density, what we do? We take water as a standard parameter because water is universal, everywhere it is available. So pure water at 4 degrees centigrade is considered as a standard parameter, and its density at 4 degrees centigrade is considered as a standard density. Now against this standard density, we have to calculate the density of given substance in our day-to-day life. So this comparison of water against the substance is known as relative density. Here we are comparing the density of water at 4 degrees centigrade against the density of the given substance. Hence it is called as relative density. Here I am giving you the list of some of the common substances and their relative densities. So relative density is calculated as density of our substance divided by density of the water at 4 degrees centigrade. Now if I substitute this, density of a substance can be a mass of a substance upon volume of the substance. So mass of a substance upon volume of a substance divided by mass of a water and volume of a water. Now here if I take volume equal, that means volume of a substance and volume of a water equal. Suppose I have taken 10 ml of a substance and comparing it against the 10 ml of water. In that case my volume will get cancelled. So relative density can be calculated on the basis of mass of a substance against mass of a water at 4 degree centigrade, and that is relative density of a substance. Let us take one problem where we are going to calculate the density. A piece of iron of volume 30 centimeter cube has a mass of this gram. So first of all, we are going to tell what is given in the problem. In the problem, the volume of a substance is given as well as the mass of a substance is given. Do you remember the formula for the density? Density, which is represented by rho, is equal to mass of a substance by volume of a substance. So we will, first of all, we are going to check the unit. Both the units should be in CGS or in MKS. So here where volume is given in CGS unit and mass is also given in CGS unit. So we need not to go for any kind of conversion. We will directly put the values. We have substituted the value and calculated the density. And of course, don't forget to write the unit. I am going to give you some more problems like this. Do solve those problems and write the answer in comment box. On the basis of density, we have some interesting things that goes on in our day-to-day life. We are going to observe those things and try to find out the reason behind it. Suppose I have given you a beaker full of water. Okay, this beaker filled with water. Now, if I will give you a piece of wood and I ask you to put this wood piece into the beaker of water, will it sink or float? Yes, of course, you are correct. It is going to float. If I will give you an iron nail, then can you tell me, will it sink or float? Yes. Go fatafat, take a beaker of water and put iron nail inside it. You will see it is going to sink immediately. Why? Can you tell me the reason? We have discussed so much about density. Can you relate these concepts with the concept which we have learned just now? Of course, you can easily tell the answer. Here, water is taken and there are few things which float on water and the few things which sinks into the water. So, if the relative density of a substance is less than water, then it is going to float. And relative density of a substance is more than water, then it is going to sink. So, conclusion is, if any substance or liquid is given to you, okay, if any liquid is given to you and you are asked to check the substances or things whether they are going to float or sink, in that case, if the density of the given substance is less than the liquid on which you are going to test, then it is going to float. If density is more than the given liquid, then it is going to sink. For example, this iron nail you have put in water, then it sinks because the density of iron is more than water, so it sinks. But if I give you iron nail and ask you to put in mercury, in that case you will be surprised that in mercury this iron nail is going to float because the density of mercury is more than iron. And that is how density is related to sink and float phenomena. Can you find out why the iron nail sinks in water while the huge ships that floats on the water? That is because the ship is having a lots of air pockets and it is hollow from inside. So its density reduces than that of water, and that is why it floats on a huge volume of water while a simple nail dips in this vessel itself. On the basis of the principle of sink and float, we have devised one instrument to check the purity of milk and similar kind of liquids. We call it hydrometer. In this picture, I have shown hydrometer in red color. It has a graduated marks on the upper side, while on lower side it is filled with mercury. Now, we know the density of mercury is more than the water, so it is going to sink inside the water-based liquids. When suppose we take a milk, in this vessel it is filled with milk. In that case, if milk is pure, it is a mixture. So, if milk is pure, this mercury based hydrometer will dip up to certain level. Okay, and you can take the reading from this graduated tube from the upper side. While if suppose milk is mixed with water, it will get diluted. So mercury will become more and more heavier because of the presence of water. So it will sink further and this reading will get disturbed. So this standard reading will vary, and this indicates that liquid is mixed with water and become impure. This is how this hydrometer works. As I told you, there is a molecules which are packed in a defined area. Okay, so these molecules, they are packed in a defined area and they define the density of a particular substance. If we heat it, then what is going to happen? Heat is a kind of energy. These molecules will catch up or eat up that energy, become powerful, and they start moving faster. And this, because of this heat, they break the intermolecular bond between them and they start becoming apart, going apart from each other. Okay, this indicates the phenomena of melting. So tightly packed molecules catch up the heat, become energetic, they break those intermolecular distances and start going apart from each other. So solid becomes liquid. More energy if you supply, this liquid becomes gaseous. And this explains the phenomena of water melting and evaporation. In this video, I am going to conclude here only. Next video, I am going to bring some more new interesting concepts for you. Before going, like the video, subscribe, and if you want, share the video with your friends. So see you in next video. Till then, bye-bye.